It's the team stats that can make a movie comical.
Can that time of possession be right? Yeah, at least your one penalty will be talked about on ESPN. Welcome back to Your Detroit Now. We got a great episode ahead of us talking Lions, Pistons, Red Wings, MSU, and U of M. But before we get too far into the show, Musa, how was your Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving was great, man. I got to hang out with my family, celebrate one of my favorite holidays, and I saw you. You came over to my house.
Yeah, it was great to see you. Great to see the family. Unfortunately, the Lions couldn't get it done, and that Black Friday game was pretty tough to watch. But it was great to spend time with friends and family, and that's all Thanksgiving is about.
That's all what it's about. Before we get into things, we have a sponsorship right now. Today's segment is brought to you by DocShop Pro, the smarter way for medical practices to save on supplies. From everyday essentials to premium equipment, DocShop Pro delivers trusted brands at unbeatable prices. Streamline your office, cut costs, and keep Detroit's healthcare moving forward with DocShop Pro.
Special thanks to Doc Shop Pro. All right, Musa, let's talk about the Lions' devastating game against the Packers, 31-24. Why don't you start us off with the game leaders, and then I will go into the team stats.
100%. Jordan Love, 18 for 30, 234 yards, four touchdowns. That's killer.
Devastating, especially with the low completion percentage that he had.
Jared Goff, 20 for 26, 256 yards, and two touchdowns. Pretty good. Josh Jacobs, 17 carries for 83 yards. Jameer Gibbs, 20 carries for 68 yards. Dontavian Wicks, six receptions, 94 yards, and two touchdowns. J-Mo, seven receptions, 144 yards, and one touchdown. Emilio, one thing Packers fans are thankful for is Jerry Jones's IQ
Why is that?
because I don't know how he would let Michael Parsons into the NFC North and he had 2.5 sacks.
Musa, you're 100% right. This was a monstrous signing before the season started, and it's only hurt the Lions.
Packer fans are extremely thankful for Jerry Jones. We had no sacks for some reason. Isaiah McDuffie, 12 tackles for seven solo, and Brian Branch, 10 tackles for seven solo. We lost every metric besides receiving yards.
Everything. Here we go into the team stats. Packers had 359 total yards versus the Lions 352 total yards. No turnovers for both teams. Packers had 18 first downs. Lions had 20 penalties. Packers went 3 for 20 versus the Lions 5 for 22. Ugly football. Third downs, 6 for 12 versus 8 for 13. Fourth downs, 3 for 3. Packers were perfect on fourth down versus the Lions 0 for 2. Red zone, 2 for 2 versus the Lions 2 for 3. And time of possession, 28:54 to 31:06. Ugly game for the Lions. Detroit went in minus 3-point favorites.
I really thought that we actually had a chance. And actually, the day before this game, we had incredible news that Frank Ragnow came out of retirement to come back with the Lions, only to find out today that he is not physical enough and won't return this season.
Yeah, how short lived was that excitement, Musa? Frank Ragnow failed his physical, and we will not see him in the 2025 season.
That is horrible. And that's how you know that like he really, really, really screwed us in the draft and pretty much in free agency because he didn't tell us he was going to retire after the season.
I also thought this. Tell me your opinions on this. How ironic. The first play of the game, the second string center actually tripped Jared Goff on that handoff to Jahmyr Gibbs. First play of the game.
That's comical. And on the third play of the game, he tripped over Amon-Ra St. Brown, who didn't return after the game with his ankle injury, and Dan Campbell says he won't be returning from 1 to 2 weeks. That's just comical.
It's hilarious, to be honest. On Thanksgiving, this is the most Lions thing that could have taken place. Hall of Fame center returns. The second string center trips and injures the best player on the Lions. And then we find out that the Hall of Famer will not be back until next year.
It's horrible, man.
So it is annoying, but let's talk about the game. I did a little research, Musa, before the show started and before the game. Let's read some of the previous scores that the Lions and Packers have had. 31-24, Packers won. That was first game of the season. 27-13, Packers won that. 34-31, Lions. 24-14, Lions. 34-20, Lions. Musa, what do all these games have in common is that they are very high scoring games. So it should be to nobody's surprise that this game was a shootout. 31 Packers to 24 Lions. This is going to be a high scoring game, and it seemed like the game was going to be plus 20 points easily. So Packers were the first to 30. They got the win. Obviously the only team that to get to 30. They got the win. So it's unfortunate, and let's talk about what this loss does for us. The Lions are sitting at a 43% probability of going into the playoffs. That is a pure metric based on how many games they have left and how many teams ahead of them need to lose. What it doesn't account for is the strength of the teams that we have to play next. Lions play the Cowboys. Lions play Rams. Lions play Steelers, Vikings, and the number one seed in the NFC North, Bears. So, not a cakewalk of a schedule that we have remaining.
Yeah, and this is just horrible to see that you go from 15-2 to the number one seed, and next year you might not even make the playoffs.
My prediction, and I'm calling it early, Lions will miss the playoffs.
I'm a huge believer. I would love it to make him, I would love to see a comeback, but this might not even, I don't think it will happen. But my quote on everything, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'm not gonna take that chance. I'm gonna say Lions are done. Their season is over. St. Brown's out for 1 to 2 weeks. Tesla, we need him to step up, but he's gotten like no reps. So what does he have to back him up? JMO is costing us more than he's helping us. I am not thrilled about where we are right now. And this is coming from someone who thought we had a realistic chance of winning the division. You thought we would go 15-2 again.
You thought we were going 12-5.
So I'm honestly it's very upsetting to see this.
Very upsetting. The and you have a great tight end, one of the best tight ends out for the year.
Yeah, what happened to Laporta? I mean, he's just gone. What is the injury?
It was his back.
But
He
how?
surgery. He needed to have surgery on it.
But how did he hurt his back?
I didn't hear any news on that either. I don't know how. I didn't see any film on how he broke his back.
I think we're gonna hear that he was like moving furniture in his house and he pulled a muscle in his back. That would be like the most Detroit Lions news we could hear.
It's just an embarrassing season. And well, last year we had everyone injured on the defense, and now we have injured players on the offense.
I
What's
don't know.
next? Teams?
It
Special teams?
feels it feels like it. It's It's embarrassing. It really is.
We better humiliate the Cowboys next week on Thursday night.
Let me ask you this, Musa. Is the Cowboys game on Thursday night, is this still a revenge game from what Brad Allen did to us 2 years ago?
Still, I mean, last year we showed them like what a true NFL team is. Last year we showed them.
But Hutch destroyed his leg.
It's killer, man. He was on track to winning Defensive Player of the Year.
And now he's nowhere near where he was last year.
Might not. He's not even gonna win Comeback Player of the Year.
So I'm going to say the Lions have a great opportunity to do something, to show a sign of life. Dan Campbell's been costing us big time on these, over aggressive play calls. Sometimes you just got to take the points, and there was no more evident than on our second to last drive when you have a common football decision. Do you take the points, or do you try and get the first down to cut the 2-score lead to a 1-score lead? Had we taken the points, we probably could have won this game. However, we do a slant pass to JMO, drops the ball, and the Lions are now forced to change the entire game plan. So Dan Campbell costed us on this game. He costed us on the game before, and I don't love the play calling that I'm seeing. I loved it the first time we did it, but these past few weeks have been rough.
Next year we better get a new coordinator.
100%. However, because the Lions lost, I feel great about this Dallas Cowboys win, and that is because the Lions have not lost back-to-back games in over 1,000 days. So I am feeling pretty safe about this Cowboys game, and I am looking forward to it. But man, these Lions have only disappointed me.
Yeah, and I don't want to put anything on the refs, but that one touchdown to Romeo Dobbs, that was BS on that fourth down. I swear, I promise you, it was a false start. That should not have been a timeout.
Oh, even Matt LaFleur knew.
Even he knew.
All right, Musa, I think we beat this horse to death. Let's talk about the Pistons. Pistons lost their win streak, Moose.
It's horrible. Oh my gosh.
13-game win streak went to zero after a tough loss in the NBA Cup to the Boston Celtics. They also lost to the Orlando Magic. They won a very exciting game against the Miami Heat tonight, and that was one that went back and forth, and Pistons were up, the Heat was up. This was an exciting game.
This is very exciting. But it's really, really, really hard to see you're one of the best teams in the NBA lose back-to-back games in the NBA Cup.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Let's talk about some of the team stats around the game. Field goal percentage, 59, three-point percentage, 42, turnovers, 21, and 43 rebounds. The Heat had a 68.9% chance of winning. That was their highest percent chance.
Yeah, it was pretty dominant the whole time. Early they took a lead, but man, it was exciting to watch. Let's talk about the game leaders. Cade Cunningham, 29 points. Paul Reed, 10 rebounds and 8 assists goes to Cade Cunningham. Cade's playing great basketball. Not going to be my player of the week because there was something special I saw in the MSU game that I wanted to point out. But man, Pistons are playing good basketball. Let's talk about some of these standings. Pistons are currently first in the Central Division with a record of 16-4. This is very promising.
It is very, very promising. The only team that is way better than us is the 19-1 Oklahoma City Thunder.
OKC's got me nervous, man. Considering that they have the best record in the NBA by 3 games, they have the most first and second round draft picks until the year 2030, and they're a young team. Just came off a championship last year. SGA has the boys around him playing great basketball. OKC is going to be a dynasty in the building, I think.
Yeah, it's very scary.
So, luckily, we are in separate conferences, so we won't have to play them in the playoffs and we won't have to see them as much as some of the other teams. But Toronto Raptors are only 2 games behind us. Let's talk about our point differential and our offensive points per game. Pistons are putting up 119 points per game. They're giving up 114 points per game. That is giving a plus 5.9 averaged point differential. We're on a 1 game win streak right now. Unfortunately, we could not keep up our win streak, but the last 10 games we are 8-2. Considering who we've played, I will take that every single time.
And Emilio, I searched up what was the NBA record for the longest win streak in the NBA. It was 33 games. I had no shot we were not going to break that record anytime soon.
No, we were not coming close to that.
Right? But 13 wins is a franchise record, so
100% will take that. Let's go, Pistons. All right, Musa, let's head over to hockey. Producer Chris is screaming at me.
screaming, we got to get our bedtime. Actually, he's got to get his coffee.
He's got to get to bed, man.
We're heading over to the Red Wings but in Amelia, they're currently on a 4 game losing streak. They lost to the Devils 4-3. They lost to the Predators 6-3. They lost to the Lightning 6-3, and they lost to the Bruins 3-2.
Yeah, and they're sitting at a 13-11-2 record that puts them fourth in the Atlantic Division. It's I fear these Red Wings are no better than they were last year. I think they're on the same trajectory as they were last year, missing the playoffs and a team that should have been in the playoffs. And it's tough to see that year after year. The offense is actually playing good and the defense just can't seem to get stops. It's the goaltending, it's the defense, it's a struggle everywhere.
Yeah, it was horrible.
And the reason we know it's specifically the defense is because we are putting up, the correct amount of shots. We're we're getting the goals that we need to see. We have a minus 12 goal differential. If you look at our goals for and our goals against, 77 versus 90 versus 89, minus 12 goal differential. Last 10 games were 4-4-2.
Let's
I
head
mean,
over to their most recent game against the Bruins, and let's talk about some of the stats.
for sure.
Team stats in the game: 26 shots, 24 hits, 11 penalty minutes, and 52.8% chance face off.
Yeah, this is a game we should have won. The stats told an okay story, but it's just these close games that we got to be able to pull through here.
Mhm.
So, Musa, as we've been saying for weeks, Thanksgiving is the first major checkpoint. I'm going to say my opinions on where I think the Red Wings are. I believe the Red Wings will also not make the playoffs. I think it's another mediocre team. The Yzer plan is clearly not working. We've made zero big moves. We've drafted zero, critical game changers here. I'm quite frustrated with where the Red Wings are right now, and I'm gonna say this is a team that unless they turn something around, unless they start getting on a hot streak like the Pistons just did, this team is missing the playoffs.
And we could have made history if for all 4 major leagues to make the playoffs.
Well, we thought the Lions were a lock to make the playoffs.
How they're rolling,
Well, I said they're out the playoffs already.
and you said the Red Wings had also you said the Red Wings would also miss the playoffs.
I also have the Red Wings missing the playoffs, so it looks like Tigers and Pistons,
Pistons are carrying.
100%. So that's just where I think Red Wings are. If my solution would be put up more shots and let's buff up the defense a little bit. Let's change some things out. Let's try and go and get a big signing. on the defensive end. Let's get a big time goalie. Let's change something because what we're doing has not worked last year. And for some reason, I know this might be shocking to the front office. It's not working this year.
I 100% agree.
So these are just my opinions. I'm very frustrated, and yeah, I don't want to talk about it anymore, Musa. I don't want to.
I don't want to talk about it either. I actually have more stuff I don't want to talk about.
Should we go there, or should we save that to the end?
Well, where are we gonna go next?
Let's start with college basketball.
All right.
All right, Musa, let's start off with MSU basketball. Spartans are on a heater right now. They've played Arkansas, ranked 14. They've played Kentucky. 12th ranked. They've played North Carolina, 16 ranked. And in a couple days, they are going to be playing number 4, Duke.
And isn't Duke and didn't Duke had Cooper Flag last year, the number one pick in the NBA?
You're absolutely right. But Musa, let's start off with the game the Spartans just played, North Carolina. Spartans were 52 from the field goal, 50% from the three-pointer, 10 turnovers, which is ugly, and 37 rebounds. This is their lowest rebounds in a game. However, 50% from the three-point line is pretty good. And the thing that is most surprising, the Spartans' long distance defense held the North Carolina Tar Heels to 17% from beyond the 3-point line. Isn't that incredible?
It's pretty incredible. And I'm looking at the win probability, and the highest North Carolina had to win this game was 69.2.
Yeah, I'm looking at that as well. And that was when they were up by 7 points. And it was early in the game. So a lot to still be determined. And this was an exciting game for the Spartans on Thanksgiving as well. That was probably the highlight of Thanksgiving for you as a Spartans fan, right?
Hmm? Says who?
All right, Musa, while we're on the topic of MSU, let's talk about the game leaders. Jeremy Fierce Jr., 19 points. Jackson Kohler, 11 rebounds. Jeremy Fierce Jr. with 7 assists. Because of his dominant performance in the game, Jeremy Fierce Jr. is going to be my player of the week. Congrats, Jeremy.
Congrats.
All right, Musa, let's send it over to U of M basketball, where U of M is ranked pretty high.
We're heading over to college basketball where the Wolverines have blown out two top 25 teams. The 21 Auburn 102 to 72 and 12 Gonzaga 101 to 61. Isn't that exciting to see, Emilio?
Musa, I was actually very hyped for that Gonzaga game, but before we talk about it, where is Gonzaga?
I actually asked your brother about this, and he said it was in somewhere in Washington.
Oh, so, so you had the same question as everyone else in the world. Where is
Yeah,
Gonzaga?
where is Gonzaga? How are they this good?
I think it's just a basketball program in the middle of nowhere. They just play games.
Just play games. And I see this is my third time to see that their mascot is a bulldog. I know Georgia, Fresno State, and now Gonzaga.
Very interesting, Musa. Talk to us about this game.
Um, Yeah, let's talk about some of the team stats around the game. 60% on the field goal percentage, 48% on the three-point percentage, 14 turnovers, and 44 rebounds. And Emilio Gonzaga had a 14% on three-point percentage. Isn't that embarrassing?
It's the same thing that MSU did. This deep distance, long range defense. It's proving to be a very important stat.
100%. And Emilio, I like to say something. Right when the second half started, we had almost had 100% chance of winning the game. Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, I mean, you guys were so dominant so early, but that almost 100% is embarrassing.
Against a really, really good basketball team.
Absolutely.
Let's get into some of the game leaders. Yaxel Lendeberg, 20 points. Yaxel Lendeberg, 11 rebounds. And Elliot Kadu, 13 assists. Because of Yaxel Lendeberg's performance he had, this is rare that you see of me. You'll probably see me pick player of the week to football guys, but how any football team played today, I don't want to talk about it. Yaxel Lennyberg is my player of the week for college basketball.
Great, great pick.
On December 6th, we verse Rutgers, Villanova, then Maryland, then La Salle, then Mackenzie, then USC,
Why don't you
then
just
pretty
tell us the whole thing, Musa? Why don't you tell us the rest of the schedule?
yeah, it goes pretty much everyone in the Big Ten, and we're all circling here. January 30th against number 11 Michigan State.
Musa, this game is only getting better and better and better. I would love nothing more than to have the best team, Michigan State, versus the second best team, Michigan, go in a head to head battle.
Well, you're not the best team because Purdue is number one.
That's true, but Purdue could fall off, and everyone ahead of us could fall off, and the Wolverines could get a loss, and there's a lot that could happen until January 30th. So, Musa, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Is the reason we were going through every single college basketball stat in such great detail today because you don't want to talk about the U of M Ohio State game today? The game?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Come on. Let's talk about it, Musa. Try not to get too excited when you read.
Oh, that game. Yeah, well, yeah. Skip that right away. Skip it.
Well, Musa, why don't you tell us the score? I know it's tough, it's devastating, but you're not going to win forever. So you could have won forever, but why don't you tell us about that game?
Oh, oh my God, I'm so angry. 12 p.m. The Ohio State Buckeyes, number one Ohio State Buckeyes, have defeated the Michigan Wolverines 27-9. Are you happy?
No,
Do you
I'm
want
not happy. To be honest with you, Musa, I was actually rooting for the Wolverines this game. I know that may have seemed a little off character, but I was rooting for the Wolverines. Why don't you tell us about some of the game leaders and the team stats?
Julian saying probably won the Heisman. Fernando Mendoza did horrible against Purdue. I think he just won the Heisman. 19 for 26, 233 yards, three touchdowns, and one pick. And that was his second play of the game, his pick. Bryce Underwood, um, yeah, he did what he did.
Did Bryce Underwood even show up?
I mean, his 8 for 18, 63 yards and a pick. Looked like the number one recruit in the country.
Not worth the 3 million for this year.
Bo Jackson. Does that name sound familiar to you?
Very familiar.
22 carries for 117 rushing yards. To Jordan Marshall's 7 carries for 61 yards. And he did get injured in the game. Bryson Koskov probably got half of his carries. Cornell Tate, 5 receptions, 82 yards, one touchdown. Donovan McCulley, 3 receptions for 46 yards. Just why? Kenyatta Jackson Jr., 1 sack. We did not get to him. We did not get to Julian saying. Sony Styles, 6 tackles for 3 solo. Jimmy Roller, 12 tackles for 6 solo. Um, Pretty much the game leaders doesn't look embarrassing at all. But are you happy? You want to see this, Emilio?
I am already laughing, Musa.
The game leaders isn't funny at all. It's the team stats that could make a movie comical. 419 total yards to 163 total yards. Murdered, destroyed. He got RKO'd. Turnovers 1-1. First downs 22. First downs 9. Michigan 9. 6 penalties for 72 yards. But wait. One penalty for 3. Guaranteed that was on the goal line with Josiah Barham's headbutt on the ref.
Yeah, at least your one penalty will be talked about on ESPN.
Third downs, 10 for 17 to 1 for 9. Horrible. Um, 2 for 3 on fourth downs, 0 for 1 on fourth downs, and yeah, time of possession is time of possession.
Can that time of possession be right?
Um,
40 minutes to 20 minutes. Musa, they had the ball twice as much as you.
I feel like this game should have been way closer. Not just offensively, but not just on the offense for Michigan, but for the offense on Ohio State. I feel like 2 of Julian Saint's touchdown should not have counted. You see Jeremiah Smith's touchdown, he bobbled the ball before he had full possession and he stepped out of bounds. If you know a ball, that is a touchback. And on Brandon Innis's touchdown, the tight end literally OPI'd our player. So if those 2 touchdowns are not counted, maybe we should have had a little bit of confidence, but I don't even know, man. Right? He's crying day. It's still crying day. Um, he just won his national championship. He won his Super Bowl. I hate everyone on this team.
Yeah, this is a tough day for Michigan fans, but let's look forward to the Christmas Day Bowl, Musa.
Yay, Christmas. We still won 4-0 after this game, until this game.
That's true. All right, Musa, final thoughts on the game.
MSU would have gotten killed at halftime 70-0.
Oh, 100%. However, you
They're
brought
still
up
next year.
MSU football. Let's talk about MSU's win against Maryland. Oh, finally, the Spartans have won a game, but it is too little too late. Let's talk about the team stats 453 total yards versus 534 total yards. Actually, MSU got crushed on this somehow. Turnovers 1-1. First downs 26 for Maryland, 24 for the Spartans. Penalties 8 for 75 versus 7 for 50. Third downs 9 for 16 versus 5 for 13. Fourth downs 0-2 versus 1 for 1. And time of possession 28-06 versus 31-54. Alessio Milivojevic got the start today over Aiden Childs. No surprise. Spartans came out early and they showed dominance. They got up to 10-0 before the Tarpons scored their first points. Eventually, this would not end up mattering because the Spartans would stay in the lead and ended up getting their first victory since week 3, Musa.
You think this saves Jonathan Smith's job?
100%. It is too little too late. If he is still the coach next year, I do think the university has failed the football program.
Yeah. I probably should have gave my player to week to Malik Washington. How do you give up 460 passing yards to a freshman?
Yeah, but you know what? Spartans got the victory, and it doesn't even matter.
You guys won your Super Bowl. Yay.
No, this is not our Super Bowl. The Maryland's not a great team. We just
I
finally
want to
won a
talk
game.
about every single team you won against. Because
Oh, they're all terrible. We haven't beat a good team. We haven't
this
beat,
is your Super Bowl. This is
we
your
haven't beat a good team in 2 years.
Oh, 2 years. That brings me back to the good old days, how Michigan was great and MSU was terrible.
So, I would say pretty horrible season for the Spartans, and because of that, I think this is going to be a very, very interesting offseason for the Spartans. We need a total change in direction.
What are you guys looking for to sign in the offseason? Like, who do you want to recruit? Who do you want a transfers
Really,
commitment?
Musa, I'd love a Robert Saleh coach. I would love him to come in and totally change everything that we've got going on. We can't
Oh,
do.
so you care about the coaching staff. You don't care about who's on you don't care about the players.
I feel like in college football, a big time coach can help recruit better players than a lesser known coach can. I think the recruiting power that a Robert Saleh type of figure would have is exponentially better than Jonathan Smith.
And you could also look for James Franklin, a John Gruden.
See, these are all great picks. Obviously, James Franklin's gone, but that type of established coach in college football, these are great people. And, we just need a total change in direction. So anything, anything is a step in the right direction.
Same in the offseason. I don't care who I want to recruit. I want to focus on who I want to keep. I want Justice Haynes to come back. As you can see, he got injured. He was out for the entire regular season. I want him to come back win and win his Heisman. He was on track to win his Heisman until he got hurt.
100%.
I'm also excited to see what Savion Hyder has for us. Number one running back in the country.
Agreed. Musa, our one question comes from Lorenzo in Macomb. He asks, is Dan Campbell's play calling hurting the Lions?
100%. I don't think his inspiration from Ben Johnson of his play calling with the Bears isn't helping us at all.
100%. It's too aggressive. We're not taking the points when we need them, and it's hurting us in all aspects of the game. As you said it best, we need to look at a new coordinator, someone that can actually call the plays.
Yeah, we need someone who has good play calling and has great trick plays like Ben Johnson. Oh my gosh, we have probably had the best coordinators in the NFL.
Agreed. A little creativity would be nice. All right, Musa, that's all the time we have.
Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. Come watch our next video. Have fun at school again. And this is Your Detroit Now.